Well, hello, beautiful artisans. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. You know, we focus on using scrap fabrics as much as possible on this channel. But today I have a really awesome project to share with you. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am so happy to have you on board. And if you're coming back, welcome back. And I love your comments, your suggestions, what you're looking for, what you want to hear more of. I have projects that I lay out for myself that I have to do and I work on, but I will always look forward to adding to it, amending it. If it's something I can do well and share with you, I'll do it. So, you know, today, keeping with our theme, scrap fabrics, I went ahead and I used my sewing machine. Now, I like to do my Boro sashiko hand stitching. However, sometimes I scoot over to my sewing machine if I am running out of time, and I really am. I need to go up to the guild this week, and I need to bring with me some more inventory. I need to bring some more artware. So these coin bags, you might remember we had just laid out the seams just because I was loving the look of it. And I just kind of laid it out like that. I was going to do the entire coin bag with strips of seams like this, and I decided to hold off. Let me just see how the process goes of me sewing with just the flap. So I did just the flap, and then I did the inside. This fabric actually has spandex in it. So when it has spandex in it, it's more difficult to sew, trust me, especially on the sewing machine. But I went ahead and used it anyway, and I just thought it gives it a nice little bright um, look. So that's that one. Now, each of these will get snaps. I will put snaps, hand sew snaps onto them. I may put bows, I may put beads, I may adorn them just a little bit more. But anyway, to share with you, so this one came out nice. I like the looks of this. And the inside of this one's just a solid blue. And I put another one here for seam. Now, I'm going to show you this one. I love. I love this. I may keep it. So that's the problem. I keep these things that I love here. And I'm just going to snip this off. But this is 3 pieces of fabrics. That's all it is. This blue here, and I put the little heart, and then this color with the little floral designs, and then the birds. I only have a little bit of these birds left. This was a thrift shop find, and I loved them. I love the birds. So I love birds, in case you don't know. So anyway, what I wanted to do is just talk to you for a moment before we put the camera down onto the table and start to design. Now this one, you can see I cut it from the seam, and I want the seam to be as part of the coin bag. This one doesn't have any seam. Now, the only thing I wanted to point out is if, for those of you who are seriously getting into your coin bags, you want to do your sashiko stitching, you want to use all of your fabrics, when you buy a pair of jeans, if it's a size 30 length, 31, 32, whatever it is, you want to consider the length maybe of your coin bag. For example, my coin bags go from 10, like 10 to 11 and maybe sometimes 12, but it's typically 10 to 11, maybe 11 and a half by 5 to 7 width. So the reason is the length of the pants being 30, let's say 33, you could get 3 7 by 11s out of that pants on one panel, on one side of it. If it's 30 inches in length, you're going to get 3 of these nicely if they're 10 inches in length. So, and you can still fold them. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. And so I'm going to put the camera down. I'll put it down like this. And so you can see, whoops, I'm learning to use this. There, that's pretty good. Okay, so now with that, what we're going to do is we're going to start, what I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to fold it like this. This is how I want it to be. So this will be the dominant um, design is going to be on this flap. This one, I'm not sure yet where the dominant design will be because I can make the flap a little shorter if I want, and I can change up the design just a tiny bit. So now with that, in the very next clip, we're going to lay out the design. Okay, everyone, so here we are back. And what I did was I've got a nice pile of scrap fabrics to design something similar to what we did earlier and just place them on, and then I will start sewing. I'm going to show you this is how I do it. Okay, some people will do piece by piece, or you can lay out your entire design. I know people who do that for whatever they're working on, and then they take a picture of it and then they sew it piece by piece. Now, I don't do it that way. I first lay out the design, something according, thinking like how I want it. And usually what I go for is contrast. I like contrasting. So, and it depends what you want. It doesn't have to be contrasting. It can be monotone. It can be whatever ever you want. I like that triangular shape again, but so what I'm going to do is see if I can get a triangle out of this piece, and just to kind of get an effect of the triangle. So I'm liking this already. Yeah, this will work. Actually, it's a little bit different shape, but that might be too big. Let's see. Nope, and it's not showing up, you see? Maybe like this. Kind of like that. I like that right there. Now, when you sew it, it takes on a different vibe. Here's another kind of triangular piece, and I'm not finding any other denims that are jumping out at me that I'd like to add to this. Here's another kind of darker one, maybe right there, and maybe this is too big in my design. So I bring that over here like that, and maybe put the other little piece of it over here. So I'm kind of liking that. I got a little bit of a space here, and so the eye is kind of like, okay, where do I go now? What do I do? It's not falling methodically to me. So let's see. What I might do is do something like this, or even bring that. No, I know what I'm going to do. Look how I changed the whole thing. It's crazy, but that's how I do it. That's what happens. Um, and this I feel is just a little. Some of these pieces you cut them and you can get a few different. You can really makes a difference with your design. Let's put it that way. So now this, you notice it has a seam, but this is this isn't quilted heavily. Let's put it that way. So that's going to work beautifully in being sewed onto this piece. So that's something else you want to consider. if these pieces are obstructing your sewing ability, then maybe they're not what you want, right? So let's see. Yeah, I think what I'll do is a little building here and maybe here, just kind of building it up a little bit. It doesn't mean the entire piece needs to be covered, but if that's what we're going for, I mean, certainly that's what we can do. But you kind of want these rows, in my opinion, you want the rows to show. So I'm going to kind of even do this and pull this one up because I want it to be like that. Okay, everyone. So I folded the coin bag to get an idea on what this would look like for the flap, and I'm loving that. So we can always trim the edges if it's not even or it's too far off. So I pinned them in place. This is how I do it. You can do it the way that's most comfortable for you. So you could definitely do one piece at a time. But I'm going to put this through and I'm just going to start basically getting all the main pieces sewed on first. Piece.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things
I'm just going to go around the frame of it, or the edges, I should say.
secret start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll
And that gets my, the frame of it pretty much in place.
all my energy.
Then I'm watching for any of my fabrics that are gathering too much or that are bunching up. So far, none of that is happening, but it could happen. If you go too fast, sometimes that happens. And I'm just going to show you in a moment what it looks like.
But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go,
I'm going to go across one more time.
and all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all we know.
Okay, so as you're sewing it on, as you're sewing your pieces on, um, you can pull your pins out. That gives you more uh, room to move and to see and to design. So you see I have those few pins left there. And if you look at it this way, this I would trim that right off. And I would do the same to the sides and get all of my threads as we go along. So now I'm going to go through the middle and I'm gonna do a few lines through the middle and sew those, and then I'm going to go up and down a little bit, and then we're going to come back and take a look at it. Okay, everyone, look how beautiful this came out. I mean, I really, really, really like this. So what we're going to do, I just want to show you before we design the next one. The next one will use fabrics like this one, and I'll show you how I laid this out so you have an idea on how to do that. But with this one, if you want to put a lining, and because you don't want all of your stitching to show, what you would do is pick a piece of fabric. Now, when you have especially fat quarters like this, look at both sides because they might be exactly the same, or one side might be a little brighter than the other. So you want to make sure the brightest color is what people are going to see. So you just lay your coin bag out like that and put the color up facing you, and kind of go like this because it gives you a good idea. Now I can tell right away this is the side I want. That is the darker side, and it's the side I want. So I'm going to, so now I know, and then I'm going to test, always test, because sometimes dyslexia really can kick in. So you know that when you open up the flap, this is the right side. So with that, now I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to show you the edges here. I want to, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can trim your sides, cut right flush to the edge of your coin bag and sew it on that way. Or you can all around have at least 1/8 of an inch all around, and then you can just fold it in. So you would fold it to the edge of your coin bag like that. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you. I'm going to have to do it on this end so I can see, and then I'll pin it. So, and you can also even flip it over 2 times, a couple of times if you want. You could do that. We're not going to do that today, but because I'm kind of moving along on this, but I'm going to fold this down and bring my coin bag up like this, and I'm going to pin it. And then, and I just want to show you what it looks like. I'm going to go down this end and then do the same thing. And I'm going to do the sides last. And I'm either going to do the sides first and the bottom last, or vice versa. But I'm not going to toggle between them. And that's just because I'd be consistent with my folds. But they're not going to be seen, to tell you the truth. But it's just an easier, cleaner type of sew that way. So I'm just going to fold that right to the edge and pin that one and just continue like that. Now, if you have part of this sticking out, look, part of that sticking out, and I'm going to work a little bit harder so it doesn't. So I might even tuck it just below the flush or the edge of that coin bag. And the reason is, um, I mean, if it shows, it is not the end of the world. You're working with recycled materials. You're doing a very good deed. You're sewing very well. You're making sure everything's secure. If it's showing a tiny bit, it's part of the aesthetics, in my opinion. It's just part of the project of how you're making this. You're making it authentically. You're making it your way. So now this one, I'm going to be mindful of the folding again and pin it straight down. And then this way too, we can get a good idea on what it looks like when we fold it. When we fold it into a coin bag before we sew everything in place. Okay, so here's our coin bag. Now this is very pretty. So when we fold this, look at that. Look how lovely that is. And there we go. So that's what that one is going to look like. So I'm going to put that to the side. And then next we're going to design this one. Okay, everyone. So now we're going to design our plain piece of denim to be a coin bag. Now I chose this fabric and some blues because I figure we'll make it a blue themed um, Boro inspired coin bag. However, I really, really like the idea of just the three pieces of fabric that I used with this one. So that's what we're going to do for this one. So basically, all you need to do is two different ways you can do this. You can fold the edges of your fabric to be flush with all the edges of your coin bag, which is going to be a little tricky when you're sewing. Now I do tend to many times I'll fold this part of it that is at the um, on the flap and at the pocket at the top of the pocket. So this I'm just going to put there because I know I want this as my flap. This design I absolutely love and I don't have much of it. So now, and you can see here on the edges that they're excessive. They're coming over the edge, so you just trim them before you sew. So this one, I'm just going to test this out and see how the flowers look there. And I might have one. No, I guess I don't. Um, yeah, I guess this is, look at this design. That's very pretty. So I guess I'm going to go with that design. Let's see if I turn it this way. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And so let's see here. I just want to turn it this way. And this way, turning it over, I can see about how much my margin is. So then I'm going to fold this part of it flush with the edge. Now, because I don't have any seams or any part of this material determining what is going to be the flap and what's going to be the pocket, it's okay. I'm going to test this out and decide that right now. So, I'm not, um, this one is a little, we got to turn it and pin this. This one's, the pin is too bent. Okay. This one's a little bit better. So we will pin that. And then we're going to test this out and see what it looks like as a pocket for us. And I might trim that after. Am I going to fold it? No. I'm going to leave these edges raw and just aspiring to the Boro method, and so it's a Boro inspired piece. Now, so as my coin bag, I could fold it like this and bring this down. That's lovely. Look at that. Look at the designs together. Now we could do it the other way. This is the pocket. We could say this is the pocket. So if this is the pocket, we have the blue piece coming, and then we make that one a little shorter. So that's kind of pretty too. I'm going to be honest, I really like the birds as the flap, and this is a full pocket. So let's see, that works lovely. So that's how that coin bag is going to go. And I'm just going to trim these edges and sew them on just like I did with this one on the sewing machine. And then I'm going to pin a lining in just like this. and then all I'm going to do is sew from the bottom here up. But when I get here, oh, that's coming unfolded. When I get here, what I do anyway is I continue to sew. And that gives it, makes it a little substantial, because then when I come back down, and I do that about 3 times, that way the corners are nice and secure. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give a like, subscribe, jump on board, let me know what it is that you like especially, and I hope this inspired you. Get your scraps out, come along with me, and make projects. And with that, you have a beautiful day.